So, hello everyone. We are really excited for today. Like, you are in for a real treat. We have Dr. Sirisha Potluri with us, and she is a plant based doctor and she teaches people how to cook delicious, yummy plant based meals without using oil. I know we all grew up, especially like coming from India, like the first step that we do is we put oil and that's when our dishes start. So it's a huge puzzle for many of us, like how we can make deep fried items without using oil, or like even how we can use our traditional dishes. But the good news is actually Dr. Sirisha uses all these traditional Indian dishes and she helps patients like who are suffering from diabetes or hypertension, high cholesterol, and she uses these foods just as medicine to treat them, like rather than using pills. So we will let Sirisha share her story, and we are so excited to have her here. Welcome, Sirisha.
Hi, Dr. Shobha and Dr. Arjun. Thank you so much for having me on. This is amazing. And as Dr. Shobha mentioned, it's like food is medicine. And today happens to be a World Naturopathy Day.
Oh, wow.
People in India, they celebrate Naturopathy Day, and the principle of naturopathy is food as medicine, right? So I'm so happy to share this with you all. I became vegan like 7, 8 years back, but then only few years back, I hopped onto this oil-free cooking and oil-free diet because it has shown so many benefits. Most importantly, for me in my family, my dad reversed his diabetes. My dad reversed his diabetes. You thought it. So his hemoglobin A1C came down to 5.4 from around 8. And the major change is plant-based diet, which is 95% of the time. He was not even 100% plant-based, but he was plant-based 95% of the time. And then the major change is reduction in fat intake, which is avoiding the deep fried items, no oil cooking, increased fiber in his food, while eating all the traditional Indian food we grew up eating. But making like small changes, the major change is removing the oil or reducing it drastically. And I also benefited by losing some 40 pounds.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
For people who know me from far, my medical college friends, they're like, "Wow!" And I tell them this is how I lost weight and how I was able to sustain and not miss the taste and not miss the food, and we don't have to starve, we don't have to not eat, but then we can eat even delicious food by not adding oil.
So, Dr. Sirisha, can you just give an example of foods that your dad was eating? I know, like, these are the foods that we typically grew up with. Like, a lot of us think, like, yes, Indian food is healthy. Like, even though we don't use meat or most of the animal-based products, but like, still people wonder, like, why there is so much diabetes in Indian population and like other chronic illnesses that we see nowadays.
Yes. So in Indians, like majority of percentage of Indians are vegetarians, either for religious reasons or spiritual reasons. They are vegetarians, and that's amazing. That itself is amazing. But why diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease has been increasing so much is like they use processed fat, oils in their cooking. Like any recipe you look on YouTube or on TV shows, it uses like tons and tons of oil in their cooking, not just deep fried items, but then even the curries we make. Uh, once, we got the oil supply, like maybe 70 years back, people were like, oh my gosh, we found oil, let's use it. And then they started making our food greasy and they think it's tasty. But then, as a matter of fact, you and Dr. Arjun, you both shared how like the oil coats our taste buds and then makes the food bland so that you're using more salt, and which in turn affects us badly, right? So for my dad, cutting down on oils and going plant-based and increasing the fiber content, all these three things really helped him. Yeah, increased fiber, cutting down oils, as well as going plant-based. These three helped him, and as I came to know, not too far back, that intramyocellular fat is responsible for diabetes, not the carbohydrates or the sugars. So now it makes sense. See, he's reducing his fat intake, and plant-based diet is very low in fat if you're not eating processed food. So I think all this helped him reverse his diabetes. So that's amazing. And
Yeah,
I,
it's just amazing. Like, was he must be on medications when his hemoglobin A1C was 8, and is he?
yes, he was on metformin, glipizide, all these medications. Luckily, he didn't go to insulin, but yeah, he was on 2000 metformin and all that. So now he stopped it. As a matter of fact, one day before we even cut down the 500 mg of metformin he was taking, he almost had like a fainting, like, yeah, he almost fainted. But he regularly checks his blood sugar, and then he said, you know what, I don't even need to take that metformin.
Yeah, it's
Happiest.
amazing. It's amazing, right? The power of food, that you have seen it multiple times, and we have seen it multiple times, and how it's so amazing that's making simple changes in our kitchen, how it is more powerful than this, prescription medications when it comes to diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that happened with your dad as well, like how he was able to reverse
Yes,
diabetes
yeah, I
and
have, like, my dad's similar story. He
It's,
had diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and even heart disease.
wow.
And this happened like 5 years ago.
It's
And doctors told him he needs to have like a angioplasty, either angioplasty or
bypass.
bypass surgery, because he had like 90% blockages in two out of three main blood vessels that supply the heart. And we suggested the plant-based route, and he thought we were crazy. And, like, I have two cardiologists telling me that I need to have stents or bypass. So he decided to, finally agreed to try. Within 2 weeks, we had to cut his diabetic pills by 50% because his blood sugars were plummeting. And in 3 months, he came off of diabetic medications, blood pressure medications, and cholesterol medications. And he didn't need any stents. He didn't need any bypass surgery. This was like 5 years ago, and he's doing very well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's like the power of food. Like when we say that, okay, like cook without oil, like we all roll our eyes. We are like, what? What are you talking? Like, I mean, as if, I mean, there would be no taste to the food. Like for
I'm
some
telling you,
reason.
Papa, I'm not immune. I was there.
Yeah.
I rolled my eyes when cooking. Wow.
Yes, and so like today our audience is really eager to see like how, like, can we really cook without oil, and so like how that can be done, because it was a big puzzle, like for a lot of us.
Yeah, so before we go to that, like, just I wanted to, bring everyone up, up to the page. Like, why are we so focused on reducing the oil intake? Because many people consider adding a little bit of vegetable oils is healthy, and many people actually believe I mean, we were there where we thought we actually need to have some of these oils like olive oil or coconut oil or canola oil, whatever the oil may be.
And I know, like, at one stage we were there, but at the later time, like when we were cooking at home, like we were not using oil, but like when we go outside to restaurants, so even though like the food has oil, like it was, I mean, like we were like, it's okay since we are having once in a while. But like after really learning like the harmful effects of oil, so it
Such
was,
as like
it,
the harmful effects, oil effects in so many ways, right?
yeah.
Just a tablespoon of olive oil or a coconut oil or canola oil, 120 calories.
Hmm.
No, it's not
And
120 calories, but then it comes with zero vitamins,
Yeah.
mhm,
no protein, and
yeah,
40% of saturated fat, and
mhm,
then trace amounts of minerals or omega 3s that people think like they're getting from olive oil.
Yes.
mhm.
So it's very misleading when they promote saying like, oh, it has omega 3s, but how much?
Yes.
Yes. So this is something that like many people don't like, not haven't heard of, is like how much of a oil is pretty much like a junk food.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
It
just
is.
like, core, we say beetroot is healthy food, like beet sugar is like processed. Just
Yes.
like corn is healthy, but not high fructose corn syrup is like a processed liquid. Like, olives are good, avocado is good, but not the olive
Olive oil.
oil or the avocado oil is just a processed
Yeah.
liquid
Like,
fat.
this is such a misnomer. Sometimes we think, oh, flaxseed oil is good or avocado oil is good, as if like something is good about it. But like rarely people understand it's literally pure junk food.
It's like high in calorie density,
Yeah.
damaging to the blood vessels, inflammatory.
Hmm.
And some studies are also showing that more oil intake means that like increasing the risk of chronic inflammation and increasing the risk of cancers. And some studies are linking oil to increased inflammation leading to arthritis. So
I know.
so many reasons. Go
I
ahead.
know. Now, COVID situation and our white blood cells don't work very well in the oil slick. So
Mm.
Hmm.
there is one more reason to go oil free. Yeah.
Yes, so like how it is affects the immune function as well, right? Yeah. But the big challenge that we observe is like many people, okay, they're willing to open and look at it, but they don't know where to even start and how to cook without oil,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. We're so glad that you're here to show us some.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I'm gonna zoom the camera towards my instant pot. I've been heating the instant pot. There is no oil in here. I just want to show. I'm cooking in a small instant pot so that we will be done by the time the show is done. So today I'll be making mixed greens dal. This is a bunch of kale. I chose the mixed baby kale, 2 packets of this. I chopped it nicely. And I kept the instant pot in saute mode so that the instant pot uh, gets hot. So now, right now it's in saute mode. So I will slowly add all the, spices. So since I'm making the Indian dal, I will be going with the Indian spices. These are cumin seeds, these are dry red chili, these are mustard seeds, and these are split chickpeas. So we typically call this tadka. That's how you start any Indian curry or dal. So I add the tadka ingredients and then slowly saute it. And then now I will be adding curry leaves. Curry leaves add a lot of flavor in Indian cooking. This is almost half cup of curry leaves. And then we will saute again.
Dr. Sirisha, typically during this step, like at least before oil-free cooking, you would be adding how much oil?
Oh, at least 2 tablespoons.
Yeah.
240 calories there itself. So, and then especially in the Indian dals, garlic goes very well. when it cooks with the lentils and the greens, it gives such a nice taste, as well as we all know how garlic can help with immunity and many, many other health benefits. So what I do is, like, this is almost 1/4 cup of chopped garlic. I add half of it, and then I leave a little bit to add at the end. I'll tell you the reason for that. When you cook the garlic, and then in the same dish, if you're adding fresh garlic, you're kind of bringing back the goodness of the cooked garlic. So isn't it amazing? There were studies done like that. Like if you add garlic juice or some fresh garlic, after you cook the garlic, you'll bring back the benefits of the garlic. So that's the reason I leave some and then add once our dal is done. Okay. So, oh my
That's
gosh.
very interesting.
Yes, yeah.
You have to smell how
Yeah.
so good. You can see, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at this point, any dal, I like to add some onions and tomato. So, this is an opportunity to add more veggies, because veggies are less calorie dense and more nutrient dense. So let's take, these are like 3 medium onions chopped, and then once we add that, we'll let it saute again a minute. And then now comes the spices. So this is Indian spice box. Most of Indians already aware of that. So it's convenient to keep everything in place. And I like to add turmeric. So whenever you get chance to add turmeric in your food, don't miss the chance. So this is one place where we can add, a teaspoon of turmeric. And so what I do is, as soon as I add my turmeric, I always keep my black pepper next to me so that I don't forget adding black pepper, because as most of your audience might already know, like black pepper will bring out the curcumin content in turmeric, right? So that's the reason. So anytime you're adding turmeric, just, a little bit, a pinch of black pepper can increase the,
Yeah, it increases the absorption of turmeric too. Yeah.
yes, absorption of curcumin. So, and then now onions became a little bit softer. So at this point, I will be adding some tomatoes, which I already chopped and kept it.
Now, curcumin, the turmeric is one of the most researched spices, right, on the planet. Like more than 5,000 papers published on the benefits of turmeric. And we suggest like people add turmeric anywhere you can.
No, that's true. That's true. We shouldn't miss the opportunity, like wherever in your tofu scrambles, or, whichever dish where you can, add turmeric without changing the taste of it, taste of the dish. Please go ahead and add. And then these are nicely cooking. And at this point, I will be adding the green mango. The green mango gives such a nice taste as well as tanginess in dals. It gives a nice texture to bite onto as well. If you don't have green mango, to get the tanginess, you can add tamarind paste. You can add lemon juice once the dish is done. So this is close to 1.5 cups of raw mango. And in the place of raw mango, in any dal, you can add either squash, like opo squash, or any other squashes you can add in the place of mango. But mango gives the tanginess, the raw mango. So I'm kind of mixing everything. It looks like, oh my gosh, the pot is already filled. Where are you going to put the lentils, right? This will all cook down. Now, the rule is, like, whenever you're taking lentils, try to, these are the red lentils. I soaked it ahead of time. I'm going to show it to your audience. This is the red lentils. 1/4 cup of the lentils has 11 grams of fiber. Just 1/4 cup is 11 grams of fiber, the dietary fiber.
Mm.
So it's amazing, right?
Yeah, and
So
it's packed with so much of protein, right?
And
So you're yeah,
iron.
and the iron, the vitamins and minerals, like, and you're getting fiber as well. Whereas if you choose the same, like for the same amount of calories and same amount of protein, I'm sorry, animal proteins or animal-based foods, you're not getting any fiber. On top of that, you're getting cholesterol and saturated fat and all.
yes.
Yeah.
So at this point, that's true. There is no reason to use animal protein, because our plant protein comes with fiber, phytonutrients, phytochemicals, iron, and no saturated fat. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay, right?
Yeah.
So always plant protein over animal. And lentils are the best way to use in Indian cooking or any cooking. This can be eaten just like a soup, especially in this fall and winter months. This will be a nice soothing soup. You can just, put in your instant pot and then cook it. You can have it, in the winter evenings.
Or sometimes, like when you have it, you mix with some rice, isn't it?
Yeah, we can mix with quinoa, brown rice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or you can have it as it is as well, because it has plenty of carbs as well as protein to satisfy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can eat with flatbreads also. Yeah. So
And this is a great way to pack greens as well. Like most of us find it difficult to eat greens, but
especially
in
kale.
yes. And
Yeah.
this is such a wonderful way, like where we can pack so much greens. Like as you all can see, like this is almost like more than 4 cups of greens.
Yes. So, chopping them nice and thin, and then mixing it nicely, and then incorporating the spices and all the veggies and lentils will make it taste so good that you want to eat your greens.
Yes.
Yeah. And let me mix it. Yeah, I particularly chose the small instant pot because I wanted to cook it faster, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Instant Pot is one gadget we recommend to our,
Yeah.
our students and clients. Like it's amazing, isn't it? Like how fast you can cook things.
Like we call that as the gadget because it's so nice. Like it has the saute mode, the pressure cooker mode. Like in some instant pot we also have this air fryer mode,
Yeah.
yogurt setting, and like so many settings. Like you have, it's just like all in one gadget.
Yes, exactly. This is one thing I'll be sending my son to college with.
Yes. And
So,
actually, this is also something that even when we travel, this is something that we can carry.
yes. So the greens and the veggies, they'll be releasing some water, right? So, uh, see, it's already became half in quantity. At this point, we can add the lentils. I washed them, but there is some clear water in there. So this is 1 cup of dry lentils. So just this amount of lentils has 44 grams of fiber. And can you guess the fiber already there in the instant pot? So, and the red lentils are very easy to cook. They cook so fast when compared to other lentils. So when we are short on time, you don't need too much of soaking. Rest of the lentils, I soak overnight. So these are red lentils. So I'm trying to mix them, and I'll add maybe half cup of water. There's a lot of water already came. So I didn't add the red chili powder yet. I'm gonna add the red chili powder. I already added dry red chilies.
Looks nice and colorful.
So at this point, from my spice box, I'll be taking this, and we eat spicy food, so I'll be adding around a teaspoon and a half. And then I forgot to mention, I already added fenugreek seeds. So in dal, we like to add fenugreek seeds. It's delicious when it combines with all the veggies. If you don't like, you can avoid that. But so at this point, we can set it to pressure cook. So how we do that with Instant Pot, I'm going to show. Sorry for the mess around.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Yeah. So at this point, like, I will cancel the saute, and then put the lid on, and always close the vent. This is opened vent. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. So this is open vent. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, we can see now. Yeah.
Yeah, always close the vent. Always close the vent. And then what we do is we say pressure cook. And then we don't need 35 minutes. Since the red lentils cook faster, I'm going to do 12 minutes. 12 minutes is more than enough because I soak the lentils. So, we can forget it. So rest of the cooking is passive. So that's the advantage of Instant Pot. We don't have to worry about the pressure cookers, you know, exploding, and then it's a steel pot, so I don't worry about, you know, non-stick cooking and all that. And we didn't add a drop of oil, but then the flavor, since it's a closed cooking, the flavors will all come together. So we will come to that later. So the next dish is very exciting. Most of the Indians who grew up in India, they might have, you know, known what is Mirchi Bhaji.
So yeah, for our you know, Canadian and American friends, like, this is like a stuffed peppers. Yes.
Yeah. And like back home in India, like this used to be a favorite street food. So like so freely available, and like it's actually deep fried in oil. So especially like after school or after college, like we would definitely try to stop and like have this dish.
Shobha, I had those memories too. Unfortunately, but what can we do? We, you know, it was like that. Hopefully it'll change.
Yes.
And thanks to all the new inventions like air fryer, and then, you know, all these ovens where we can make them oil free. So I took like serrano peppers. These are spicy, but then as you can see, I removed the seeds in them very carefully. I wore the gloves and then did it. And then I made a stuffing to fill these peppers with. The stuffing I made is with some sesame seeds, some cilantro, sesame seeds, some lemon juice, and then the most important ingredient, the star ingredient, is like the carom seeds. I think it's actually a fruit we call ajwain in Hindi. So these are carom seeds, and you don't need much, like even 1/8 teaspoon will give a strong flavor, and they have properties like like a laxative. So you have to be careful not to use too much, but then in Ayurveda, they believe like it helps in aiding digestion and all that. So that's a must item. So here is like, I already did a paste and kept it ready so that it won't
Yeah.
be.
Could you lower your camera, Sirisha? Okay, yeah. So okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I made a paste of some sesame seeds and some flaxseed powder, and then some carom seeds, onion, and then cilantro. So this is how it looks. I'm going to show you how I stuff it in the green peppers. I already stuffed some to show. So take this and then stuff it.
Dr. Sirisha, for our audience, could you send us the exact amounts after? Like we
Like
could post it.
how
Yeah,
many how much
definitely.
sesame seeds and all that
Yes.
you added?
I already uploaded this recipe on our website, on our blog, but I will
Oh,
show
wonderful. Yeah, good, good. So, okay, we can let people know, like,
you. It's there.
Dr. Yeah, Dr. Sirisha's blog is plantbasedlosangeles.org, and the recipes for this is on that one.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it's there.
So we'll put that in the comments as well.
So this paste has onions, cilantro, lemon juice, some flaxseed powder, carom seeds, and sesame seeds. So this will help with the taste as well as to cut down the heat. Since we are not using any oil, it will increase the flavor as well as the fat content in the sesame seeds will help with the taste. And as you all know, green chilies are a great source of vitamin C. And people who eat hot foods, spicy foods have low metabolic rates because they increase high metabolic rates, sorry, because they increase the metabolism. So they increase the brown fat as well. And
So one thing about having the spicy food for people and the hot food for people who are not used to it is that you don't have to go to that level of extent of hotness, right? Like if whatever, you
yeah.
could make these things like mild and moderate and whatever level you want, you can
Mhm.
make it, isn't it?
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
also use regular peppers for people who are wondering, okay, like I don't get this type of chilies
Yes.
like where I live. So definitely you can try with regular peppers.
So the regular bell peppers, right?
Yes.
So we could just stuff that and
And also like the regular peppers that we get long,
Banana
like
peppers.
sometimes, yes.
The banana peppers are not spicy. So
yes,
here,
banana
Yes.
peppers are a great idea.
Yeah.
yeah. So here is the flowers. I'm gonna take, this is chickpea flour, and then this is rice flour, and some coriander seed powder, and some ginger garlic paste, and some red chili powder, and some turmeric, and some carom seeds as well, and a little pinch of black pepper I added. So here we add water very carefully because we are not making it in a traditional way, right? We are making it oil free. So the batter for this has to be nice and thick so that it applies to the peppers. So carefully add and then try to mix it with a whisk. So this is the most important part of this recipe, is like mixing the batter. It shouldn't be runny, it should be nice and thick, but try to mix everything nicely. It already smells very good because of all. So it's too thick, it's hard to apply. So now I add little bit more. As I said, this is the hard part, like mixing and adding, mixing and adding, and make sure it's not too runny, but everything is nice and, mixed. Yeah, I think this is good.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, I can add little bit more, not more than that. And So that now everything we added in here, and I forgot to add one ingredient, that is baking soda. I'm so sorry. Because if we don't add baking soda, they won't puff up. So a little pinch of baking soda will help the, bhaji to nicely rise. So this is maybe half teaspoon. So let's mix that. So now, once we added all these, now we will apply this to the green chili. For that, I will be using gloves because these green chilies are spicy. I mean, to eat, it's fine, not to touch though. So, because by mistake, if we put in our eyes, that won't be a pleasant experience. I de-seeded all the seeds, but then, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do. And then we take the, I already filled the green chilies with the stuffing. And then I take some and then apply. Just hold it like this and apply. If you have a brush, I think you can do with that too, but with the hand, it comes out. So nicely you're applying the batter so that it stays on the green chili. And the good way to find out if the batter is too runny is, it's sticking nicely, right?
Yes, it's perfect. It's nice and thick. And as you said, it's better to keep this batter in this consistency so that it's not runny.
Yes. And what I might have done before this is bring the air fryer basket which I obviously didn't do. So now I'm going to bring it. So what I did is I lined the air fryer basket with parchment paper. Parchment paper is your friend when you're doing oil-free baking or air frying, easy cleanup, and then it doesn't stick either. So instead of putting in the plate and getting the plate with the batter, I would directly put, as soon as I did this, I will lay this in the air fryer basket nicely. And I'm going to show you. Sorry, I'm going to quickly do this. I don't want to. Yeah, I didn't want to do this and keep it ready because I wanted to show how I do this. Like many people didn't believe when I said like, we can do oil-free mirchi bhaji.
Yeah, this is an important step because
most of the time we are used to dipping the that pepper in it, and when you dip the pepper in that, it will probably become too thick, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the coating.
Yeah, and also it won't stick on it. If you're directly putting in the oil, that's a different story, but we are not doing that, right? And then you're nicely laying it in the air fryer, and it takes just 10 minutes in the air fryer. As you all know, like chickpea flour cooks very fast, and since we put all the stuffing in there, you don't have to have the peppers cooked thoroughly. It can be a little raw, but it's very tasty.
Yeah. Like when we are able to modify these dishes and make them without oil, it's such a game changer. Because
Right?
like we don't want to miss our favorite foods, like especially the foods that we grew up with. And a lot of times when we tell our patients or participants that they can definitely plantify their favorites, and this is what we mean by that. Like definitely you can have the healthier versions of your favorite food. So even though like you're fond of deep fried things, these are some of the ways that you can cook them and not miss them.
Yeah. I'll do just one more. I'll try to get one more, and then we will.
And then maybe later you can send through the computer so that we'll have it as well.
I'm sorry, Shobha. I wish it functioned like that, right? I know, I know.
Yeah, they look so yummy.
So, and these are the mirchi bhaji that's good for you. These are
Yeah.
good for mirchi bhaji. So I'm going to show in a minute how I do this.
Wow.
So you just line them like that. It's okay, even if there is a little bit of, gap, you can always fill it with a spoon if it didn't go with the hand. Yeah, anyhow, the less batter, the better, right? You want
Yeah.
chili, the green pepper and the stuffing in there. And then I will air fry this for 10 minutes first. If it's not done, we will go 5 minutes more at 350 for 10 minutes. I put it at 370 actually, 370 for 10 minutes, and then I will check. So yeah, so both of this is passive cooking. I can do while that's happening in the instant pot, and while that's happening in the air fryer, I can do other things, right? So oil-free cooking as well as plant-based cooking is not that hard because most of this is like passive cooking, right? So what I did here is, I'm going to show you guys in a minute. So I prepared a plate ready for the mirchi bhaji.
Oh, that looks nice.
So anytime you're eating fried food, it doesn't have to be deep fried, even if it is air fried. I always say like try to add some raw component on it. So I'll show you in a minute what we'll be doing to the mirchi bhaji. Some of you who are familiar with this kind of dish, you already know. We cut the mirchi bhaji, add some onions, carrot, and some peanuts, and some pomegranates, and I have to definitely use the microgreens because my son grows them.
Oh yeah, your son he's like he's a farmer of the future. Like he is. How old is he?
He's 11.
He's 11, and the stuff he's growing in the microgreens, it's amazing.
And he's plant-based.
Yeah.
So I knew this when I was young, right? So he was like, particularly, Mom, are you using my microgreens? I'll find a way to use them. So cut the mirchi bhaji and then, put all this. And the thing is, you have to put lemon juice on the top.
Yum. Yes.
So good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So which there's a question here.
Like what microgreens did you use here, Sirisha?
These are broccoli microgreens.
Okay, these are broccoli. Okay.
There's a question here. Which air fryer are you using?
It's a very basic Crux one.
Crux, okay.
Yeah, I'm planning to get something really nice. Let's see for the Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But it's a very basic one.
Basic one, okay.
Yeah, basic.
There are so many choices, right? The air fryers, like Instant Pot also has air fryer. Some of our students are using that. That's good. Yeah.
And also like T-File has an air fryer too.
Okay, so this started the countdown at 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Now it's in 12 minutes, the dal will be ready. So I'll show you what I will do once the Instant Pot the pressure is released. as I said before, never miss an opportunity to use more greens than you can in a dish. So dal is a perfect example. This is a big bunch of cilantro that's thinly chopped. So once this is cooked, we will be adding this and then mixing well. And then if needed, we will add a little bit of lemon juice as well. But the tanginess from the raw mango should be good. So as I said, like in any Indian curries or dals or soups, cilantro is the best herb to add. And this also helps with blood sugar regulation. And this was a major part of my dad's diet as well. So I just wanted to mention that if anyone with diabetes is listening, this is one thing really good to use along with your healthy plant-based diet.
Wonderful. Like, so greens go a long way, isn't it? Everyone knows that vegetables are good for them. That people don't just realize how good they are. Like we all know, like yeah, you gotta eat your fruits and vegetables, but people just don't realize how beneficial they are. And of all these vegetables, right, the greens are like even the top notch, isn't it?
Yeah, like when it comes to nutrient density, greens are the first. I mean, they stand first in terms of nutrient density.
Yes, and why not use the herbs which can be easily taken in? Like if you're doing Italian cooking, use a ton of basil and parsley. And if you're doing Indian cooking, cilantro, curry leaves. And
Mhm.
Mhm.
all these come with, their own nutrient dense.
Yes.
Sorry, the green chili is really strong.
I see a comment from Angela. Like she bought an air fryer that she likes at Costco, Total Chef by Coolotron,
Okay.
Canadian made,
And only about
$75.
$75. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Thank
great.
you, Angela. I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah,
So
see, Dr. Sirisha, you're connecting from, we didn't tell our audience, like you're connecting from Oak Park,
yeah,
Los
Oak Park in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. So if it is $75 in Canada, it may be even less for you. It may be just like $50.
or even less. Yeah.
So many things on list for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
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 So
So
as we
there
were,
you have a very active group in Los Angeles. Is it like
yeah.
you're teaching people how to use plant-based food as medicine?
Mhm.
And,
So I've been doing these plant-based workshops in the local community center. Um, Now I shifted that to Zoom classes. So I'm teaching Zoom. Like I have like more than 15 participants right now in this session. So this is every Thursday. Um, and they are amazed that we can cook all these without oil and make so many varieties in plant-based. And this plant-based workshop we are doing, we focused on holiday specials, how we can make roasted cauliflower, how we can make stuffed mushrooms. Air fryer is amazing for that too. You can make stuffed mushrooms, stuffed bell peppers, and then roasted cabbage. You can cut the cabbage into thick chunks and you can roast them. And those are all like nice holiday dishes. So I've been doing that. And after this pandemic started, we started doing these online Zoom sessions for folks in India as well, where we can help them, um, you know, uh, mm, reverse, treat, as well as prevent the diabetes. Like many folks in India are either pre-diabetic, diabetic, or suffering from complications of diabetes. So we started this Zoom sessions, and it's so rewarding to see, like, uh, the feedback we get from the participants. We particularly, I and Dr. Anita, we particularly put it Saturday evening, so that it's Sunday morning for folks in India. And Then one of the he's the principal of an engineering college. He's one of our participant, and then he said like he never saw such low blood sugars in his 12 to 15 years of diabetic life. That's what he told us.
It's amazing, right? Like,
Yes,
how quickly
yes.
we've had we've had similar stories in our students, like where the blood sugars were like if you go in Canadian numbers, like the average here is for people who used to have in double digits, like 15 and 20s, they started seeing blood sugars in normal range, like 6 to 8. And we had one participant who said, like, I never saw my blood sugar in single digits, like in Canadian system wise, in last 20 years. That was like within 2 days.
Like it is so amazing to see the power of food in just in front of your eyes. You're able to see people like when they switch to this kind of foods,
Exactly.
like using healthy ingredients, using more fiber, using no oil. And like it's amazing to see. Like we also run like 6 week programs, and from the start till the end, it's amazing to see like how they come in and the transformation that happens. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And also like,
Yeah.
yes, like we
Yeah.
don't get to see this change in the clinics, like when we practice in the clinics, and I know the patient comes and we prescribe the pill and not much happens. But when we show people like how they can modify, because like what you're showing, Sirisha, today is such a gold mine, because a lot of people wonder, okay, how can I, okay, you're telling me to eat this, do this, but how can I make it? Because even to conceive, it's very much difficult for a lot of people.
That's true, Shobha. It's like it's very tempting to go back to our old ways of eating and cooking. Even for me, like when I started initially, like it's like, oh, maybe I'll add a little bit of oil. It's okay. It's very tempting when you. So I said, if there is no oil in the home, I won't be tempted, right? So and then it's amazing. And in March, in February, just before the pandemic started, um, there was a local association, Indian Association, Los Angeles Telugu Association. So they asked us to do a seminar about plant-based eating and all that. So I did like a Facebook Live along with Dr. Anita, and then after that, the organization, they started WhatsApp groups to motivate people, and the one group became two, two became three, three became four. It's like each group has like more than 150 participants, and then we get so much feedback from all the participants saying like we never knew that oil-free cooking is this easy
Yes.
and is doable.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
And like it is so quick, and it's so easy to clean, as you said. Even I'm glad you mentioned, like that's what happened with me too. Like coming from Indian culture, it was very difficult for me to conceive how to cook without oil. So literally I had to throw oil out of my house, not a single drop. Otherwise, as you said, like we get tempted, oh maybe I can just add a little bit. And but like after I threw the oil out of my house, like I was able to get a lot of ideas, because now since oil is not there, I was literally forced to cook without oil, and then see like how we can make our traditional dishes without oil. So that was a game changer.
and one added advantage is like if you're doing oil-free cooking, you won't need that much salt.
Yes.
If you are adding the same salt content or amount as you are with the oil, it'll be too salty.
Yes.
So that's an added advantage. If
Yes.
someone is trying to reduce the salt intake but they can't do it, go oil free.
Yes. So
It's,
the
it's,
thing is,
it's the
like
same thing
the
with
oil,
sugar.
yeah,
Yeah.
oil intake, like
Mhm.
all the oil we take, it coats the taste buds, right? Like when it coats the taste buds, you need to put more sugar, you need to put more salt to compensate that. But when we take the oil out, you can make the dishes with less amount of salt and less amount of sugar than before.
And you can taste the food, like
Flavors.
you can taste the flavors of the food, which is really nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then one last thing is, I would say it's also easy to clean the dishes. Yeah. It's so easy to clean. You could just use water and just like scrub it, and so quick. If you're not, but if you're using oil, you have to put like so much detergent, and like so easy to clean the dishes.
It's economical as well as environment friendly, because less
Yeah.
water, less detergent, no oil cost.
Yes.
Yeah, oil is so expensive too. Yeah.
I'll just check on the Ooh. They are almost ready.
Wow.
Look great.
Look at them. They look like they have been really deep fried in oil.
Right? Exactly. I'm gonna plate them and I'm gonna show. And
Sure.
the pot is also beeping, so it's done as well. So I'm gonna quickly plate them and show. So advantage of using the thing is I can just remove this and put in a plate. I'm gonna put here. So I took out the parchment paper, and then I will use like a knife to carefully take them out, since we worked hard for it. And I'm going to show how we eat them.
And I think the same thing can be done with the pakodis and also like with the same batter, with the same chickpea batter.
Yes. Some of the filling came out. And I'm telling you, the filling is so delicious when you're biting on it. These are nice and crunchy.
Mirchi bhaji ready, huh?
I know. We'll just plate 4. Obviously, they're very hot. So I'll show you how we eat for some folks who are not familiar. We cut them in the middle. Okay. You can hear the hard sound, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the crunch.
It's nice and crispy. So once you do that, add some red onions. Red onions are a great way great ingredients to include in our diet, because they're filled with flavonoids like quercetin, right? So, and then some carrots. And then some pomegranate seeds. Some peanuts, and then the microgreens. And just before eating, squeeze some lemon juice. That way you're not, I'm going to show you in a separate plate so that you'll know how it's going to look individually. And then pouring some lemon juice while eating gives it such a nice flavor. That's it.
Could see, like, burst of flavors, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
the herbs and the the spices and the veggies and
And
the
then
lemon.
adding some, yes, adding some pomegranate will also give nice kick um,
Mm,
next to it.
beautiful,
Yes,
beautiful.
your son must be so eager to eat them.
Oh, I know. It's like I told him, don't come down until 1 hour. I'll just put this aside and then I'll show you the dal. Uh, so since the dal came out, I'm trying to. I'm doing a quick release.
Mhm.
Hope it's not too noisy.
No, no,
Oh,
it's
it's
okay.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zoom has a feature where it cancels the noise out, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Of I don't know. Did you hear the air fryer?
No, we didn't hear the air fryer.
I think Zoom has a feature where it cancels the gadgets sound.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So yeah, I didn't want to go over time. That's why I'm rushing. Sorry.
Oh,
No,
it's
no, no.
okay. You're good. It's all good.
And then once it comes out, we saved the um, garlic pieces, right? So
Mhm.
garlic pieces and the
Cilantro.
chopped cilantro will go in. So I'm not going to add the salt because we added so many flavors. Only if we think we need it, just before eating, we can sprinkle on our plates. So that's one way to prevent increased salt intake. Yeah. I know. That's one feature of Instant Pot. It makes us wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially when we are in the time constraint, right?
Yes. But the good thing about it is, apart from pressure cooker, like many of us are used to growing up with pressure cookers and where you have to stand and like, count the whistles or like you have to watch it. But this one, you can turn one button on and then you can just walk away and it will be done.
Go walking, come back, your steps. You got your steps and your food is ready.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show this close up. 1 second, let me take this mirchi bhaji away. And then, oh my goodness, look at this. Can you see?
Yeah, it
Yes.
looks so good. So colorful.
Oh, so we like our dal not too mushy, but then, nice and we like to have that bite. My kids, they like it like even if I make sambar or dal, they don't like it if it is too mushy.
Hmm.
See the cooked lentils as well as the veggies, and then
Mhm.
Yeah, it's nice to see the texture.
Yeah.
yeah, texture, and even the mango pieces didn't become mushy. So 15 minutes is too much. So I always put like 12 minutes,
Mhm.
especially if I soaked my lentils. So at this point, I'll be adding these garlic pieces because, as I said, it'll revive the health benefits of the already added garlic. Then I'll mix it so that the heat will cook them a little bit. And then you might think like, oh, this is a lot of cilantro, right? This is what gives such a nice flavor. So we added mixed greens while cooking, and now we are adding a big bunch of cilantro. So all this, and I don't remove the stems. The stems add such a good flavor in cilantro. So except for the very end of them, I use most of the stem of cilantro because that adds so much flavor. And here we have this delicious dal. It's mouth watering actually.
Yes, it looks so yummy.
And I'm going to show how I serve them. Like you can just eat it like a thick soup, by itself, or you can pair it with some flatbread, whole wheat flatbread, or whole wheat chapati. And where did all the cilantro go?
Yeah.
It literally disappeared. So
Mhm.
I have some quinoa that I cooked earlier. So I'm gonna add here, and then this can be a nice meal by itself because it has lentils, it has greens, it has some veggies, right? And some mango pieces. We always used to fight for the mango pieces in the.
Yeah. Yeah, nice tangy flavor, right? That's
Oh,
delicious.
look at
So
that.
basically quinoa with kale, lentil, mango,
Yes.
And a lot of greens, like
greens.
cilantro. Yeah.
Greens and veggies dal. And if you want, you can add a little bit more lemon juice. And um, just before eating, if you want salt, you can add on the top. If not, you can avoid, because by itself it will be delicious.
That's a fantastic bowl of like food that is like flavorful,
Like,
tasty, nutritious, and it's basically just medicine, right? People, it's you could see that you don't have the healthy food doesn't have to be boring, right? Like it's
yes.
so flavorful
Yeah, like just bursting with flavors.
and colors and
Yeah.
I I I, we could imagine like your kitchen is like
Smelling
with
so nice.
Yes, exactly. Especially the dal. Um, you know, this dal, because of all the greens, and once the cilantro hits the dal and the raw garlic, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So these are the two dishes, and my kids are waiting.
Thank you so much. Um,
Like really, like this has been such a wonderful session. Like our audience really love to see like how you can definitely make them like without oil, and especially a deep fried item without using oil. So that was so great. Thank you so much, Sirisha, for your time.
Oh,
Thank you for showing us.
and we already shared like how could our audience connect with you? You have a wonderful website, isn't it?
It's a blog.
Blog, yeah.
Yeah.
blog, or they can email me. I can send the email in the text. Or
Uh-huh.
we have Plant Based Los Angeles, a Facebook group. They can message there, so we regularly check the messages on Plant Based Los Angeles.
Wonderful,
Okay.
wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for
So
so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Shobha. Thank you, Arjun, for having me on. You both are an inspiration, really. What you've been doing in Gift of Health, you have no idea to how many people I referred your website and your oil-free cooking video. Amazing, amazing. Thank you for doing what you do.
oh, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I can